And now, telling the future. Trying to discern tomorrow's news today has been one of mankind's fundamental endeavors since long before anybody had come up with the concept of news. Our number one story in the countdown, more than 3 decades later, results are in as to who was better at predicting the future, professional psychic Gene Dixon or professional psychosomatic Woody Allen. In a series of forecasts made at almost exactly the same time, late 1972, Dixon turned out to be wildly wrong. But Woody Allen has just turned out to be almost unbelievably right. Newsweek reporting that on September 19, 1972, President Richard Nixon was briefed in the Oval Office about dire predictions made by Mrs. Dixon. She's almost forgotten today, but in the 70s, Gene Dixon wrote a syndicated newspaper astrology column and was at least as famous then as that other side guy, John Edward, is now. Nixon's trusted private secretary and friend Rosemary Woods met Dixon and was the go-between for Nixon and Dixon. Among Gene Dixon's 1972 predictions, as related to Nixon by Rose Woods and recorded on Nixon's secret White House taping system, harm could come to Kate Graham if she opens some package in her office. Katharine Graham was the publisher of the Washington Post and would soon have much more to fear from Nixon than from terrorists. That May and June 1973, those would be bad months for Nixon's Watergate scandal, but, quote, everything will turn out fine. Not exactly. And wildest of all, that there was something about comedian Alan King and terrorists. Only she wasn't sure if King was one of the targets or one of the terrorists. So Ms. Dixon was 0 for 3. And we're not even counting her earlier forecast that World War III would begin in 1958 and that the USSR would beat America to the moon. Meantime, there was Woody Allen. There is news from Australia today that researchers at Griffith University there have succeeded in growing adult human stem cells without as much as touching an embryo and with the complete support of the Catholic Church. They think they can make brain cells, blood cells, heart, muscle, tissue cells, kidney and liver cells out of stem cells harvested from the human nose. Does this sound at all familiar?
This is our leader's nose.
What we're dealing with basically is a nose. What the doctor is doing here, we're placing down the garments because we're going to make an attempt to clone the patient directly into his suit.
That's right. It's Woody Allen's last daffy comedy, Sleeper, released in 1973. In it, his character wakes up 200 years in the future and discovers that the head of a totalitarian society has been attacked, that all that is left of him is his nose, and that they intend to restore him to life by cloning the nose. The professor behind the nasal stem cell breakthrough, Alan McKay Sim, said he saw the movie when it came out, and as to Woody Allen's forecast being right on the nose, quote, I've been thinking of sending him a copy of this paper. Allen is hardly the first filmmaker to inadvertently predict the future.
This is Kimberly Wells. I'm speaking to you from the inside of the control room of the Ventana nuclear power plant.
The China syndrome about an accident exposing the reactor core at an American nuclear power plant outside Los Angeles premiered on March 16, 1979. 12 days later, an accident exposed the reactor core at the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant outside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. As a prediction of the future, it was pretty good, but of course 12 days was hardly a lot of time to do anything about it. But on a minute-for-minute basis, perhaps the most visionary film of all time was Network, the 1976 TV news movie written by Patty Chayefsky and directed by Sidney Lumet. It correctly forecast that news, once an independent, sacrosanct part of the television industry, would become merely part of the entertainment industry, and the primary goal would become ratings and advertising dollars, something that was unbelievable in 1976. It envisioned television networks being not independent, but rather being owned by giant corporations, occasionally by madmen from other countries. And it, of course, forecast a kind of newscast totally alien to the viewers of news of 29 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Network News Hour with Sybil, the soothsayer, Jim Webbing, and it's the Emma's Truth Department, Mata Hari and her skeletons in the closet. Tonight, another segment of Vox Populi, and starring the mad prophet of the airways, Howard Beeler.
Public opinion polls, entertainment news, investigative reporters telling the Emma's truth, celebrity scandals, soothsayers predicting the future, oh, and crazy newscasters with their hair all messed up, ranting and raving and having on-air visions about America as being seen as desiring only to be left alone. But I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write your congressman. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, stick your head out and yell. Good night and good luck.